Now at 6, the city of Nevada considers a tax increase for a new aquatic center. Plus, Joplin police respond to a crash that launches an SUV across Main Street. And the Better Business Bureau in Joplin has some advice for parents shopping for back-to-school supplies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Nevada is set to vote on a half-cent sales tax during the August 6th primary. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bott. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more on what this new sales tax would be used for if passed.
We've probably been inundated with phone calls about the pool. I can remember when it closed, we had a line, wrapped around the building, ready for kids to get in and use the pool, and the next day we had to close it. So it's a water loss issue. They still can't find the plumbing leak, and so it's better to start all over again.
Starting over and building a new pool isn't cheap. That's why the city of Nevada has proposed a half-cent sales tax that would help fund the project. However, it would still do more than just that.
What has happened quite a bit in recent years is that when we hire new police officers and firefighters, the salaries are lower and people come in, get their certifications, and that's a significant expense for the city. They're also aware of what these same positions pay in other cities in the area, and we frequently have been losing a lot of our people to cities in the area.
The sales tax would also add a 13% increase to the fire and police department salaries and benefits, something Mayor Knox says is long overdue.
I was a policeman in my younger days, and my starting salary back in 1973 was the same as the salary starting here. And so, I mean, that's a big disparity. Now, granted, I was at a bigger police department, but still, the fact that we're known best for training police officers to go to other cities, it's critical that we keep a stable police force, and we have an excellent police department, and they deserve whatever that we can get them.
City officials believe this sales tax would fix important issues that the community would benefit from, and they encourage every citizen to go out and vote.
Turnout is historically low in local elections everywhere, not just Nevada, not just the state of Missouri. And so it's very important that people get out and vote.
Reporting in Nevada, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
If passed, the sales tax will go into effect on January 1st and will be a permanent installment. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another hot one for us today. Temperatures, most of us, we climbed into lower 90s for afternoon highs, and that's pretty close to where we're sitting right now. Near 90 in Joplin, also in Pittsburgh. We are dry, but we do have a few isolated little thunderstorms. Temperatures upper 80s on the Missouri side, and then you get into the mid 90s once you get out across southeastern Kansas, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And you can see a few hit and miss tiny little showers. One just to the east of Girard, a few more popping up just northwest of Independence. Very scattered, not going to be a big deal. Anything that does develop will start to fall apart as we lose the heating of the day. We're going to slide back through the 80s, 70s, eventually down about 68 or 70 degrees. We do have some better rain chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. A crash in Barton County claims the life of a Rogersville, Missouri woman. 30-year-old Aubryn Dudley was traveling south on State Route T when she failed to stop at the intersection of Missouri 126. Her car then traveled under a tractor trailer heading east. The driver of the semi, Patrick Wright of Houston, Texas, was not injured. The Missouri State Highway Patrol major crash team was called in to help with the investigation. Missouri Governor Mike Parson weighed in on the crash, saying in part, quote, Aubryn had been a respected state team member with DSS for nearly 5 years. Aubryn's heart for her children and public service inspires us all to live lives and make a positive difference to those around us. The governor went on to say he and his wife are keeping her family in their prayers. Earlier today, authorities responded to reports of an SUV crash at I-44 and Main Street in Joplin. When authorities arrived, they found a Jeep Grand Wagoner crashed into the trees. JPD said the SUV was westbound on I-44 when it took off took the off-ramp to South Main at high speed. The SUV left the ramp and jumped both northbound lanes of Main Street, landed, and then ramped off the southbound lanes into the trees. Authorities measured the distance at about 575 feet. First responders transported the male driver to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The Economic Security Corporation hosted a Project Homeless Connect today. The nonprofit joined forces with Salvation Army and Mercy Health System for an event promoting support for the homeless community in Joplin. The project provides plenty of resources and services, as well as a chance to network and build community connections.
The resources are still pretty much the same. I think there are more, how do I put this, more of the resources are expanding what they do, which is helpful. But I mean, the homeless numbers are growing, and they're growing everywhere. They're growing in Joplin.
Parents have a list of things to worry about before school season starts, and one of those things is spending too much money on school supplies. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure parents get the most out of their money this year before they open their wallets online or in a brick and mortar store. Their advice for your budget: grab those big ticket items like a computer first.
Well, prioritize. So if you know you're going to need, say, a new computer, but also notebooks, all that kind of like easier stuff, smaller stuff, go for the big ticket items first, just in case they sell out. You don't want to miss that opportunity. So snag that laptop, whatever kind of, maybe a new cell phone, whatever you might need, do that first. Prioritize those big ticket items.
They also advise if a place says it's hosting a back-to-school sale, not everything may be included in that sale. Well, summer brings the return of a creepy tree inhabitant. That story's coming up. But first, Oklahoma's top educator issues instructions to schools on how to use the Bible in the class. Oklahoma Superintendent of Schools issues new guidance for the upcoming school year, which requires the Bible to be included in lesson plans. Andy Weber has details.
These are the guidelines released Wednesday by the Oklahoma State Department of Education. The second sentence states that, quote, immediate and complete implementation of these guidelines for the 2024 to 2025 school year is required.
Teach the facts. We're not asking teachers to come in and preach from the Bible. We're saying, look, historically, if Thomas Jefferson references, as he does in the Declaration of Independence, that there's rights that come from your Creator, well, what did he mean by that?
The guidelines say the Bible needs to be discussed when teaching Western civilization and historical events that feature the Bible or its text. It also says teachers have to discuss the Bible's influence on classic and contemporary literature. In art class, teachers are required to teach about artwork that depicts biblical scenes or themes.
You want it to be ready in place by this school year. Seems like a pretty big ask. How long will this take to implement, you think? Isn't it a pretty big change, you'd say, for Oklahoma across the state?
So look, these are the standards that the teachers should be teaching. So the reality is what we will be doing is making sure that they have the sources there available to do it. We will make sure that they've got this clear guidance in order to do it. That's where you saw this. We're going to be rolling out more documents for teachers to use.
Well, some school districts in Oklahoma have already said they will not follow the order. A little later, we're taking you to the Allen County Fair in Iola, Kansas.
Plus, we do have some rain chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up.
Two different Little League baseball teams will represent the four states at the Midwest Region Tournament next week. Now, Riverton won the Kansas State Championship, and the Webb City 12U All-Stars are the state champs from Missouri. Webb City entered the final inning of the state title game down by 4 runs, but scored 6 unanswered to keep its season alive and punch its ticket to Indiana. That gives the Webb City All-Stars a matchup with the state champs from Nebraska in the first round of regionals. That game scheduled for 10 a.m. on August 2nd. It'll be televised on ESPN+. If Webb City wins that regional, it would advance to the Little League World Series in Williamsport later this summer. College football season gets closer and closer every day. At the JUCO level, NEO is entering its 5th season under the direction of head coach Zach Crissup, hoping for a big turnaround from its winless campaign in 2023. Now, the Golden Norsemen released their 2024 schedule this week. The season begins with a road game at Butler. Then NEO's home opener comes against another local team, Independence Community College, who won last year's matchup 44-0. The Norse play a total of 4 road games, 5 at home, ending the season against Kilgore on November 9th. In more NEO news, former Lady Norse women's basketball player Bethy Manunga will compete for Team Belgium in the Olympics. The Golden Norse Athletic Department announces today Manunga was a 2-time All-American at NEO from 2017 to 2019, holds program records for career rebounds and double-doubles. Well, July started out slow for the Joplin Outlaws. They posted a 2-9 record in their first 11 games of the month. Joplin's recovered, though, and has won 9 of its last 10 and holds a 5-game winning streak entering another home contest tonight. Outlaws are at Joe Becker Stadium again this evening, trying to finish off a 3-game sweep of the Fort Smith Marshals. Joplin has won by 1 run each of the last 2 nights. Fort Smith has now lost 7 in a row. First pitch this evening from Joe Becker Stadium is going to be at 7:05. We'll have the highlights from it tonight at 9 and 10. And members of the Carthage Masonic Lodge present a check today of over $10,000, which will be used towards construction of the baseball complex at Carthage High School. This is the result of fundraising for several months.
We had an ongoing event. It was kind of a just soliciting our membership as well as members of the community. Started that in about January and concluded that in May. And so we were very proud to be able to present that check today.
The baseball field is 100% donation. That's how we're being able to build it. And so checks like this go a long way in helping the total project come together.
That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Vernon County hosts a forum for its 2024 sheriff's candidates. Plus, Pittsburgh residents offer feedback on a new neighborhood map and how chronic stress impacts the body and how to stop it. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Well, fair season in southeast Kansas rolls on. Visitors can head out to the Allen County Fair in Iola, Kansas to take in a rodeo, live music, games, and craft fairs. This free event also showcases local businesses. This marks the 131st edition of the Allen County Fair.
It's been in my family for, as long as I've known. My mom did it and all of her siblings. So we just kind of grew up going around it, and so kind of tradition, so wanted to get into it.
Final sports note?
Yeah, well, in Major League Baseball today, Dylan Cease throws a no-hitter for the Padres, so that's the second no-hitter of the year in MLB.
All right, final weather check?
Yeah, we'll do weather. All right, looks pretty good as we go through the evening hours. Temperatures are going to be dropping back through the 80s. Random storm tomorrow, a few more hit-and-miss storms once we go into Saturday. A little bit cooler high temp of 86, and then our temperatures accelerate upward as we go into next week.
All right, well, thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.